Today we're going to talk about the advantages of apprenticeship versus going to beauty school to obtain your cosmetology license. If you have questions, make sure to comment below so that if we don't answer them in this video, we can get back to you in the comment section below. Now let's get inside and talk to some of the people employed at T-Max Hair Studio and get their perspective on their journey to cosmetology. So one of the number one questions you might be asking yourself right now is, how long does it take to do an apprenticeship versus how long does it take to get through beauty school? So let's talk to some of the people here and see what it was like for them. Hi, Jalen.
Hey.
Tell us a little bit about your apprenticeship journey, and let's start with the length of time that you've been involved and the length of time it takes versus school.
So I've been in my apprenticeship almost 2 years now. I started in September of 22. It takes 3,000 hours. You have to get 3,000 hours in an apprenticeship of clocked hours before you can sit for the cosmetology exams versus, school takes 1,500 hours. So, yeah.
Awesome. How long did it take you to get from start to finish through beauty school?
From start to finish, from actually starting school, it took 12 months, and then it took me less than a week to get enrolled into school.
So I am like 2,000 and something hours, just over 2,000. So I have 990 something left, something like that. So we are projecting that I'll be done by December. We shall see, fingers crossed.
The second question you may be asking yourself is, what are the costs associated with an apprenticeship versus the cost to go to a beauty school? So Samantha, you went to beauty school. Can you talk a little bit about the cost associated with going?
So it cost a little bit less than $28,000, but I was able to get financial aid through FAFSA and loans. And I'm not gonna have to pay any of those back until 6 months after I finished school.
So the apprenticeship is very unique. It's like honestly dependent on how the owner of each salon wants to run it. So they can decide how they want to structure their program within costs and everything. So for my cost here, it is $48,000. I am working through this, so I actually get paid, but I have to make my boss $48,000 to pay off my tuition, which is really nice for me because it was the deciding factor if I wanted to do an apprenticeship versus going to school, because I knew I didn't want to pay for it. So this was a great option for me. Not only do I get to work, but I get to be in a salon learning on the job, and I got a lot of hands-on experience, which I loved. So when doing my research and finding an apprenticeship, that was kind of easy for me because I was looking for a holistic approach. I wanted somewhere that was clean beauty. So Tara was kind of the first person that I found. T-Max was the first salon I looked at, and she had a post on her Facebook from a year ago looking for an apprentice, and I just applied, and she brought me in for an interview. We clicked, so then she invited me back to a class, and she was like, let's see. She was like, she wanted to see if I really wanted to do this. So she hosted an OA color class, and I will say everything was over my head, but I came back. I came back, and we did one more interview where I met with the team, met everybody, and we decided it was a good fit, and we went for it.
Thirdly, you may be questioning what the journey from start to finish looks like when you're apprenticing versus going to a school.
So the advantages I say of apprenticing is really that hands-on experience. There's really nothing else like it. You are thrown into the salon immediately. So I'm doing everything from making sure clients are okay to actually doing those technical services. So it's really teaching me how to work in a salon. Versus having gone to school, you're doing a lot more theory and book work, from what I've seen, which is, it's important to know, but it's not the most important. I think knowing how to take care of clients and doing hands-on work is the importance in my eyes. But that is also a disadvantage in doing an apprenticeship because you really have to push yourself to actually do the studying that you need to do to know that theory behind what you're doing, because it makes learning so much easier. It really puts it all together. So I do have that gap when it comes to being an apprentice, and that is dependent upon your apprenticeship program.
I feel like school really helped me with the written exam because we covered a lot of the theory. I feel like it did kind of put me at a disadvantage when it comes to taking in clients at the salon because I'm not that well known, I don't have that much experience, and I'm still learning on how to bring those clients in.
So as you can tell, there's multiple ways to pay for going to get your cosmetology licensing. Whether you choose apprenticeship or if you choose cosmetology school, those prices vary depending on the partnership that you choose. As a master in the trade, I think it's really important to weigh out the benefits to both before choosing one or the other. Some of the tips that I can give you is if you can't find a master in the trade in a close proximity of driving time to you, that you're knowingly going to learn something from and that you click with, then going to school might be the better route for you. And it might allow you an easier access to getting licensed quicker and then finding a salon that is willing to take you in and mentor you at that point. Another thing is to consider the cost. Some apprenticeships are non-paid positions at all, while some will offer minimum wage, and that might not benefit you at all. So being able to work part-time while going to school on a Pell Grant might also be the easier route for you. When it comes to timing, while an apprenticeship is 3,000 hours and the school is 1,500 in our state, that also varies state to state. So you have to check with your state to know the regulations there. Some states also do not offer apprenticeships and their only way to licensing is through a beauty school. So make sure you state check with whatever area you are wanting to be licensed in to see. There's also reciprocity. So if you get licensed in some states, you can then transfer to another state without having to take the exam over again. When looking at the journey, that's also going to be dependent on the state's regulations for the school and what they allow. While here you can do 70% of your hours in school and get a student license to then start working in a salon and getting some hands-on experience out in what we consider the real world. While in an apprenticeship, once the master signs you on as their apprentice, it is up to that master what they allow you to do and when. So it is kind of up to the candidate how quick of a learner they are as how quickly they'll be able to start building a clientele and taking services. When thinking about the advantages and disadvantages, one thing that comes to mind for me is it is very much a self-taught process during an apprenticeship depending on what master you choose. Some may lay out a scheduled guideline for you and dictate out a little bit about what the journey will look like, while others will just hand you a book and let you learn at will. So you really need to question who you may be apprenticing underneath, what their method is, and how hands-on they'll be on the theory session. While schools have pretty much a state guideline that they have to go by and modules that they go by, and it is very much laid out with pretty much like an itinerary from start to finish, so you know what you're going to be doing each section. So now I may have you saying, well, Tara, which one are you going to pick? Which one would you say is right for me? And that's going to be up to you. If you need your hand held a little bit, if you like to know exactly what's going to happen next, and you want to get in and out as quick as possible, and you might need financial aid to do so, go to school and find a salon that will take you in and will show you a way. If you're a self-taught, easy learner, if you learn with your hands on and you do not learn well just by reading a book, then apprenticeship, even though it takes longer, is going to better prepare you for being able to handle clientele and making sure that you have a full list of clientele by the end of your apprenticeship and you're not starting from scratch once you graduate school trying to find clientele. In wrapping up, as you can see, there's many different ways that you can get licensed for the cosmetology trade, and the journey looks different each way that you decide to do that. Using this video may help you determine which route is best to take for you.